It's 6:32 a.m. on the 18th of October 2025. Over the central Caribbean, about 70 miles north of Venezuela, a single US F-16C streaks across calm blue air. The pilot, Lieutenant Mark Ellison, hears one sharp word over the radio: launch. From the Venezuelan shoreline, a flash bursts upward, the trail of an S-125 Pecora missile cutting through the dawn. Inside the jet, the threat alarm screams. Mark drops flares, banks hard left, and dives fast, pulling away from the rising heat signature. Every heartbeat counts. 40 seconds later, the missile loses lock and crashes into the sea, 11 miles off the coast. In the nearby AWACS command cabin, crew members freeze at their screens. Heat plume confirmed S-125 launch from the coast. One calls. The captain's voice stays calm. Track and hold. Do not engage. The radar picture settles, but then a faint new signal flickers low over the water. No ID, no transponder, just static and motion. Something else is out there, and no one knows what it is. This wasn't a random close call. The skies above the Caribbean are packed with patrols, smugglers, and border watch flights, all squeezed between radar zones that overlap like shifting puzzle pieces. Just 70 miles north of Venezuela, one false reading can ignite an international fire. The missile came from the Venezuelan coast, a Pecora 2M, an old Soviet weapon upgraded with modern tracking. It's not fast by today's standards, but it's still deadly if the radar lock holds. For Caracas, firing it wasn't just about defense, it was a message. Venezuela's leaders see these patrols as American surveillance runs near their economic lifeline, the northern oil ports. For the United States, the flight was routine. The 79th Expeditionary Squadron sends out jets like this daily, looping the same coordinates between Curaçao and open water. But what's routine for one side can look like intrusion to the other. On radar, intentions don't show only distance, direction, and speed. That's why this spot is one of the world's quiet flashpoints. At dawn, both militaries were running drills. Both sides had young operators watching tiny green dots on their screens, knowing that pressing one button could turn a training day into a war headline. For Lieutenant Ellison, this was not about politics or power, it was about staying alive. For the Venezuelan officer on the coast, it was about following orders and proving readiness. One man dives to save his jet. The other locks on to protect his country. Neither knows how the story ends if even 1 second goes wrong. And now, with a mystery signal moving just above the sea, both nations hold their breath, waiting to see who will blink first. If you think the pilot did the right thing by holding his fire, press 1. If you believe he should have struck back, press 9. Your choice might say more about the next war than you think. The radio crackles. Defensive flares pump left. The F-16 bursts a chain of white-hot decoys, diving to break the missile's lock. Inside the cockpit, Mark's breathing slows into instinct. Countermeasures active, he calls. Fuel stable, no hits. The jet pulls level, climbing again toward safety. In the sky above, the AWACS tracks every move. We have impact failure. Splashdown confirmed, the controller says. Another voice cuts intense, clipped. Secondary contact detected. Low altitude, no ID. The captain answers. Hold picture. Prioritize the Viper. On the Venezuelan side, radar crews at the Barcelona Air Base are on edge. A young officer watches a flickering echo near the ADIZ line, barely there, but steady enough to make his palms sweat. "Sir, possible drone contact," he says. The commander leans over his shoulder. "Keep lock. No release without authorization." Orders pass down the line. Move the mobile launchers to fallback zones. Turn off active radar. Hide the trucks under camo nets. Within minutes, 3 Pecora units scatter into nearby coastal cover. 9 minutes after the first launch, the U.S. command post in Curaçao has full visuals. The infrared feed shows the fading heat trail of the missile and a faint pulse moving near the waterline. Could be drone reflections, says one tech, or a decoy capsule dropped from the jet. In the cockpit, Mark listens to the static hiss. "Request status on unidentified contact," he says. The reply comes slow. "Unknown. Maintain current heading." He can't see it, but he feels it somewhere below. Something is still watching. On both sides of the horizon, silence turns heavy. Commanders replay the same 30 seconds again and again, searching for proof who moved first, who crossed the line. But the truth blurs in the data. Same event, two stories. Inside the AWACS, the captain exhales. "Mark it as possible interference," he says. "No hostile confirmation." On his log sheet he adds a note. "If it was fake, it worked." Because in modern warfare, wasting an enemy's time is sometimes as powerful as striking him. If you believe this was just a false alarm, press 1. But if you think someone planned the decoy to test both sides, press 9. Your call might reveal how you read a war in progress. By 7:10 a.m., Venezuela raises its coastal alert to red. Two Sukhoi Su-30 Mk2 fighters roar off the runway at Barcelona, climbing fast to 14,000 feet. From the American side, the AWACS crew watches their radar arcs tighten. Two bogies airborne heading northwest. The controller calls. Speed Mach 0.9. The F-16 stays steady on its return path toward Curacao. Every few seconds, Mark glances at his radar screen. Two new contacts, closing distance. "Visual?" the AWACS asks. "Negative," he replies. "Cloud layer blocking visual range." In the command cabin, tension builds. Every radar sweep overlaps like layers of glass. "This is where accidents happen," mutters one analyst. The Venezuelan pilots check their orders again. No weapons release unless attacked. For now, it's a dance of nerves, two fighters climbing toward the edge of international airspace, one American jet retreating home under watch. Electronic noise fills the sky. From the coast, bursts of jamming signals scatter across frequencies, short, sharp, then gone. "They're lighting us up," says an American operator. Not locking, just showing they can. For a moment, everything goes still. Mark looks down and sees only empty blue sea. No smoke, no wake, just the quiet surface below. His heartbeat slows, but his mind doesn't. "Stay calm," he whispers to himself. Back on land, Venezuelan mobile SAMs relocate again, tucking into hidden positions near fishing towns. The logic is, survival move before you're seen. On the AWACS screen, their radar spikes fade in and out like fireflies. One crewman wipes sweat from his headset. "We're tracking ghosts," he says. The voice of the captain breaks through. "Maintain discipline. No one fires without eyes. On confirmation." Across the water, the Su-30 pilots report visual contact 1 F-16. Low, steady, not aggressive. They keep their weapons cold. The distance between them narrows to 20 miles, close enough that one wrong move could turn the air electric. In that fragile silence, the real fight becomes invisible, the fight to stay patient. Would you hold your fire with two enemy fighters on your radar, or break the standoff first? Type 1 for discipline, 9 for dominance. At 8:14 a.m., the radar screen lights up again. A new contact appears fast, high, and silent. No transponder, no friendly code. Speed, Mach 1.2. Altitude 22,000 feet. It's coming from the east, heading straight for the two Venezuelan Sukhois. In the AWACS cabin, the techs freeze. "Unknown fast mover," one reports. "Trajectory direct to bogies." The captain leans forward. "Confirm. Is it American?" Silence. The system can't match the signal to any known aircraft. For 80 seconds, the blip keeps moving, straight and true, then fades to nothing. No explosion, no debris, no trace. It simply disappears. "Could be a glitch," someone says. But everyone knows it didn't look like one. Theories fly fast. Maybe a decoy pod, maybe a stealth drone. Some point to the RQ-180, the United States' rumored high-altitude spy craft. Others whisper about Venezuela's own experimental UAV Ansu-5, built to mimic radar signatures of jets. Whatever it was, it worked. The unknown contact pulls every radar, every pilot, every finger on every trigger toward the wrong direction. For those 3 minutes, the airspace becomes blind chaos. Down on the Venezuelan coast, mobile radar briefly spots 3 warm dots moving low near the shoreline. Steady speed, perfect formation. Too uniform to be cars, too slow to be aircraft. Possibly unmanned surface vehicles, small, remote, and watching. Then the dots vanish too. By now, nobody trusts their screens. American analysts think it's a trap. Venezuelan officers think it's an intrusion. Each side sees proof of what they fear most, being outplayed by invisible technology. If you think that mystery contact was an American drone, press 1. If you think it was Venezuelan tech playing defense, press 9. Because what you believe might tell which story wins the sky. The Caribbean sky has turned white from the heat of the sun, but no one notices. Every radar in the region is alive. The 2 Su-30 patrol just south of the international line, engines humming at combat power. The American AWACS orbits 140 miles west, tracking every pixel that moves. Viper 1, you are clear west to base, the controller says over the net. Copy, Mark answers, voice tight. No visual on bogies, maintaining altitude. At that same moment, Venezuelan command radios the Sukhoi. Maintain track. No weapons release unless confirmed hostile. The pilots acknowledge. Their eyes stay fixed on a bright shimmer ahead, the trail of the F-16 against the morning haze. Inside the AWACS, the temperature climbs. Screens flicker with overlapping echoes, radar stress from hours of full power. A junior operator whispers, "System loads redlining." The captain nods. We hold the picture until the last second. Then a new pulse, short, sharp, and strange, cuts through the airwaves. Electronic spike from the coast, someone calls. Could be targeting, could be test. The captain keeps his tone steady. Note it, do not respond. For a few heartbeats, no one speaks. The only sound is the hum of electronics and the breathing through oxygen masks. Mark glances to his right and catches the faint glint of metal and sunlight, one of the Sukhoi, distant but real. He knows that one false lock-on could change everything. A wax Viper, one visual on Bandit, no threat gesture. Copy. Maintain course. You are 35 miles from safe airspace. Each pilot holds steady, sweat rolling down their necks. The F-16's fuel gauge ticks lower. The Sukhoi stay on edge but do not close in. No shots fired, no taunts. Just heavy silence carried on open channels. At 8:32 a.m., the AWACS confirms. All radar contacts stable. No engagements. Situation de-escalating. The captain finally exhales. That's how you win a fight, by not pulling the trigger. The Sukhois turn home. The F-16 clears the line. 3 nations exhale together, grateful that war stayed one decision away. If you believe restraint saved lives today, press 1. If you think holding back only delays the inevitable, press 9, because sometimes peace is just another form of waiting. By 9:20 a.m., the air is calm again. The F-16 lands safely in Curacao, its gray paint still warm from the climb. On the Venezuelan coast, the Su-30 pilots return to base in silence. No radio boasts, no victory, calls, just the quiet relief of men who came close to the edge and pulled back in time. 3 hours earlier, a single missile almost triggered a regional crisis. Now, diplomats are rewriting statements, radar logs are sealed, and both sides claim control of the skies. Officially, it's called an air defense misunderstanding. Unofficially, every analyst knows it was a warning shot, a reminder that one spark in the Caribbean could light a much bigger fire. Within days, the U.S. increases its patrol tempo across the southern air corridor. Satellite coverage widens, tankers refuel closer to the line, and the AWACS fleet stays on constant rotation. Venezuela responds by moving more Pechora and Toram, 1 batteries along the coast, and ordering new camouflage drills for its mobile launchers. The message is clear on both sides. Next time, no one will be surprised. For the rest of the world, this quiet standoff exposes a modern truth: you don't need a battle to start a war. Today, uncertainty itself is a weapon. A decoy signal, a fake radar return, or a drone with no flag can force billion-dollar militaries into reaction mode. In this new era, whoever controls information controls the first move. Back in Washington, a senior defense official sums it up. It's not about who shoots first anymore. It's about who sees clearly. And in Caracas, one officer writes in his report, "Our systems worked. Our restraint worked better." The Caribbean sleeps again, but the shadow of that morning still hangs above it, proof that the line between peace and conflict is thinner than ever. If you think this fragile calm will hold, press 1. If you believe the next encounter will break it, press 9. Because history always starts with a single radar blip.